There's something I'm seeing more and more of in online businesses, and it's starting to create a slightly uncomfortable feeling for me. Everything is becoming automated. Automated welcome messages, automated DMs, automated follow ups, automated nurture sequences, automated check ins, automated just touching base messages. And on the surface, this sounds incredibly efficient. It sounds scalable and, to be honest, quite smart. There's a quiet problem underneath all of this. I think it's starting to remove the human feeling from businesses that were initially built on human connection. And this matters more than most people realise, because relationships are not built on operational work, they're emotional. And emotional work doesn't behave well when it's automated. Sure, you can automate reminders, you can automate admin, you can automate business processes. But when you start automating connection, something quite subtle changes. The tone becomes flatter, the timing more mechanical, the intention that you have gets diluted. And people feel that, even if they don't consciously know why. And to be honest, you've probably experienced this yourself too. You receive a message that looks personal, but something feels slightly off. It's polite, it's well written, it even uses your name, but it doesn't quite land. It feels like it was sent to 50 people and you were just one of the group batch. It feels like it's part of a system and it feels somehow a bit shallow, I suppose. And this, I think, is the danger of automating relationships, because connection isn't just about words, it's about context. It's about knowing why you're reaching out. It's about timing, tone, subtlety. Automation can never fully capture and represent you in that way. And the irony is, most women-led businesses, they don't need to automate their relationships, because the relationship is the strength of most of these businesses. You know, the trust, the empathy, the warmth, the understanding. That is the part that differentiates you from the rest of your competitors. So when that becomes automated, you're accidentally weakening the thing that made your business work in the first place. Now, this doesn't mean you can't automate or use automation around relationships, because you absolutely can. You can automate reminders to follow up. You can automate tracking, organization, lead sourcing. That is incredibly helpful and very, very successful if done correctly, because it removes the operational load around relationships. But the message itself should stay human, because when somebody receives a message from you, they're not just reading the words on the screen. They're feeling the intention that you sent it with. And intention doesn't automate well. Now, this is especially important if your audience is already overwhelmed, because overwhelmed people don't respond to polished responses from automation. They respond to authenticity. They want warmth, something that feels considered. They want to feel seen and heard. A slightly imperfect message written by a human will create more trust than a perfectly optimized automated one every single time. And this is where I think people misunderstand automation. They think automation should replace human effort. But in my opinion, the best automation protects human effort and removes the repetitive work, so that you have space for the real connections. And that, I think, is the balance we should be striving for. Let automation handle the structure, you handle the relationships. Automation should organize who you speak to, but you decide how you speak to them. Automation should reduce pressure, not replace presence, because presence is what is going to build trust in you and your business, and trust is what is going to make your business sustainable long term. If everything becomes automated, businesses start to feel transactional, and that is cold, distant, efficient, but forgettable. But when automation supports relationships instead of replacing them, you get the best of both. You have structure without losing the warmth, consistency without losing authenticity, scale without losing connection. And that, I think, is the goal that most of us have. Now, this is something I'm becoming more intentional about myself. I'm using automation to remove operational pressure, but keeping the human parts of my business, because automation needs to protect your humanity, not erase it. Now, if this resonates with you, subscribe, because this is exactly what I explore here each and every week. Calm systems and thoughtful automation, and businesses that feel lighter, not heavier. If this topic interests you, I've created a full series on calm AI systems for business. You can watch the next video in the series. It will be coming up in just a moment.